Hey there, today I want to talk about an important nutrient you might be missing if you're watching your carb intake. It is not fiber. I have another video on that. It is potassium. Super important nutrient. It's not one we typically track. But most people are not getting enough, and this is especially a case if you're actually working to eat healthy and you're trying to reduce a carb load. Maybe you're trying to manage weight this way. You could be missing this important nutrient. So it's about more than a banana. I want to just caution you, there's a lot of important information here about what potassium does, sources that are really great, some lower carb sources that you could focus on, and how you can implement this into your life. So number one is potassium, super important for your muscles, for your heart, for your energy, and for your digestion. So clinically, I have noticed that in my clients, if they are struggling with a bit of constipation and we've already made sure they're getting enough fiber, they're moving their body enough times per day, and they're getting enough hydration, and they're still struggling, this is another thing that we can consider and look at and make and optimize for them. So if that's you, let me know, post in the comments, are you struggling with constipation and you're doing all the things that you've read are important for that? Comment below. It might be the potassium, so you want to listen up. So you might be thinking that the typical sources are, say, a banana. That's like the most common one that most people know about, or a potato. And now these are things maybe you're trying not to have as frequently or as much of. But there are some really, really great lower carb sources of potassium. The recommended daily amount is varies by age. The amount that's used for food labeling, so if you're ever looking at food labels, 4,700 milligrams is the daily value that is used to calculate the percent on food labels. So I know that can be really helpful. I often do a talk on food labels and people get really confused about food labeling. So just thought I'd mention that. If you can consistently get close to that, you're going to be in good shape. So here, I'm not expecting you to count your milligrams of potassium every day. You probably have better things to do. But here are a list of really good sources of potassium. And I highly recommend that you prioritize having something on this list or some other good ones that you might research yourself. But this list in particular focuses on lower carb but higher potassium options that you could include in any meal. And I'll talk about sort of tips on how to fit them in. Okay, so one is avocado. It has 975 milligrams for an avocado. You're probably not eating a whole one, but it's a really great source even if you're having a quarter or a half an avocado. Those dark leafy greens are amazing. So in particular, spinach, a cup of spinach has 840, a cup of Swiss chard has 960. So these are things you can sneak in a smoothie. The avocado and the greens, you can have them in a salad at lunch. You could have them cooked with dinner, not the avocado, but the greens. So really good sources there. Zucchini is another one, and mushrooms, either white or cremini mushrooms. You could roast those. You can always chop up mushrooms and add them into a lot of different things, sauces perhaps, chilies, things like that. But you can also just roast them along with zucchini and have them as a side dish for dinner. Salmon is actually a good source of potassium. Super yummy. I have it frequently for dinner. You could have smoked salmon. That could be on a salad. Or you might have it as part of your breakfasts. Smoked salmon is great because it also helps you get your protein. The avocado I mentioned also helps you get some really good fiber. I've done videos on protein and fiber, so go back and check for those, because those are other important nutrients you won't want to miss. Edamame is another great source of potassium, and it can also be a great plant-based source of protein. A cup of edamame has 675 milligrams. Tomato paste is another one. You might not think to sometimes add it to some of your sauces. You can sneak it into chilies. Just add a little bit more. And in moderation, food like beets. Beets are a little bit on the higher carb side, but if you have a beet cut up in a salad, that can be a really great source of potassium. For half a cup is 450 milligrams. So there's a list of really great options and how you might include them in your day. If you're looking for some ideas other than just this list, I have a great meal plan program, and it makes sure you get a balance of all the macronutrients you need. It also is full of ideas for recipes. They're easy. I'm not a chef. I'm a nutritionist, a certified nutritional practitioner who is absolutely not a chef. I cook very simply and easily and as efficiently and quickly as I can, because I don't like to spend hours in the kitchen. So don't think these meal plans are going to be super fancy. They're going to be as quick and easy as possible. Often faster than ordering something in. So they're a great option. I will put a link in the comments or in the copy when I post this live video later. But I'd love to hear from you. Do you feel like you're getting enough potassium? Do you have any muscle cramps, low energy, heart palpitations, constipation? Do you feel dehydrated even though you think you're drinking enough water? These are some signs that you might be deficient in potassium, and you might want to focus on some of these foods. Of course, you can also have a potato and a banana now and then as well. So love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel like potassium might be something that you want to focus on? I would love to know, so post in the comments. And I hope this has been helpful. I will share the link to the meal plans because I think you're going to love them. Take care. Have a wonderful day.